Doom upon all the world. It is time to prepare for the final confrontation with Corypheus. Speak with the advisors in the war room. Here we go. This is how the world ends. This is where a whole falls apart. So this is a BioWare game, and their endings are interesting. I'm granted I'm mostly exposed to Dragon Age and Mass Effect. I want to go back to their older stuff, especially on this channel actually at some point, but this is where people die. This is where big decisions are made, and depending on what approach they make, maybe I can continue playing after it's over, or maybe maybe it rolls credits and I have to load an old save or start over. They're all possible, and for a long time now, most of their endings have involved at least the potential for player death, both of the protagonist and of the various allies. So some big changes could be happening here, and whatever I do here is probably going to affect the results, whatever the setting is of the fourth game, assuming that they make one. They have to make one, right? Doom upon all the world. Available cost, 0. With his forces routed, now is the time to find Corypheus before he can recover and force him out into the open. Warning. This starts events that lead to the end of the story. You can continue to play the game afterwards, but some content may not be available. Complete any important tasks before beginning this operation. As far as I know, I've done every companion mission and basically every mission in this game aside from a handful of really specific stuff of like, here's a secret door somewhere that there might be in a few areas, and there's a few glitched quests. Unfortunately, I am definitely above the recommended level range, being 4 levels higher than their cap. That's kind of baffling to me. It's the final mission of the game, and everything else that's available in this game only seems to matter in the context of preparation for this mission, so the idea that you can out-level the final mission of the game seems weird, especially when everything scales. Like, why does the game have level 23 enemies if the final mission is level 19? That's interesting. Either way, let's get started. Is it the same descriptive? Yeah, it's the same text again. Alright. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure we'll all be fine.
Did you find what you need, Inquisitor?
I found that and then some, believe me.
Then all that remains is to find Corypheus before he comes to us.
We've been looking for his base since all this began, with no success.
His dragon must come and go from somewhere.
Oh, what about the deep roads? We could send word to Orzammar, hire envoys to...
Corypheus.
He did that? But why?
Either I close the breach again, or it swallows the world.
But that's madness. Wouldn't it kill him as well?
Inquisitor, we have no forces to send with you. We must wait for them to return from the Arbor Wilds.
Just as Corypheus expects, I suppose.
Ah, so his big plan is to lure me out by recreating the problem that I solved in the first place. It's weird. It's weird talking about the breach again, because the breach was wow, yeah, the breach was what we closed when we left Haven, and that was like, what, the 30th episode, something around there, and we're like 120. Like, that was so long ago. It's kind of baffling at this point. That really was the prologue of the game. So it's funny to see him open the breach again. But we'll see how this goes. It's clearly a plan to lure me out, and all we have available to us is this party here and anyone who's at Skyhold, because all the forces are out and not able to respond so quickly, because this is a fantasy world where everyone has to go around on foot and everything.
Tell me, where is your maker now? Call him. Call down his wrath upon me. You cannot, for he does not exist. I am Corypheus. I shall deliver you from this lie in which you linger. Bow before your new god and be spared.
Never! It ends here, Corypheus.
And so it shall. Successful in foiling my plans, but let us not forget what you are. A thief in the wrong place at the wrong time, an interloper, a gnat. We shall prove here, once and for all, which of us is worthy of godhood.
You're not proving anything by talking.
Alright. Oh, wow. Here I was thinking maybe we'll have a whole mission or something. Right off the bat, we're just getting thrown directly into a fight with Corypheus. Maybe it'll just be a starting fight, or maybe the game's really going to end here, but there we get our dragon-on-dragon combat, which I guess is going to happen mostly off-camera. Where's Cassandra? That seems like a weird move. I think they established that Harding kind of fell out of combat, but Cassandra was right there, and is now not here. Okay, I mean, this would be a great time to be like, just blow your minds and have all 9 party members here at once, like 2 rows of health bars, and you have to manage them all individually. I would be so up for that. Even if it'd be overwhelming, it'd be great for one time. So let's take a look at everyone's focus meters. The only person currently available is Solas, although we're going to get another one from Vasti pretty soon here. Solas is going to open with a barrier to get us starting off in the right spot.
Dragon, how clever of you. It will avail you nothing. You will fall as a warning to those who oppose my divine will.
I would very much like you to pay attention to me, Mr. Corypheus. Alright, so how hard of a fight? Oh, wait.
If you desire death, you shall have it.
Interesting. They make a point to say that this is a level 16 to 19 quest, but he's clearly level 23. So less disappointment to be had there. He clearly scales to some extent. Alright, Solas is hurt. I should probably be in more of a tactical mode right now. What kind of stats does he have, by the way? Immune to disabling effects, perceptive and sundered. Alright, he's sundered because of the effects we have. Oh right now all of my potions are being reserved for Vasti is what's going on here. Oh, and we're being directly attacked. That's why Solas is danger. Let's try to back him off for a second here. Let's see if I can get these opponents to sort of group together.
If you desire death, you shall have it.
Let's give us an opportunity to fight them from afar. It looks like Vasti is ready to jump in. Thankfully, I don't have to do as many manual commands as I once would have had to, because Vasti... everyone's programmed to follow Vasti, basically, and Vasti's programmed to follow the controlled character, so I can actually just sort of take control of somebody and run around as them.
What do they call you? A Qunari? Your blood is engorged with decay. Your race is not a race. It is a mistake.
I wonder if he genuinely knows about the origin of the Qunari, or if he's just being a dick about it. Definitely looks like Solas is down. How far back did he go down, though? I'll check with Vivian. Vivian can get him back up. He's the only one having trouble here, too. It's because I did never successfully get items, stuff for Solas that would help him be hard to kill. There we go. Everyone else has their barrier and, guard generation that keeps them hardy. But Solas is just kind of there in the background, hanging out, giving us mage support. Things could have gone better with him. But, I do not think that we are in dire need of improvement. I went ahead and rematerialized inside of him right there. Very effective. So that's something I can do all the time now with Vivian, because that's the last thing I spent a point on, was that he, when I turn invisible then rematerialize, if I'm inside somebody, they take damage. Is he affected by slow-mo? I don't think it affects him, does it? He counts as being too big. Or maybe that counts as a disabling effect. Maybe you can't slow him. Sarah's slow probably works, but that's only because it's only used as slow in place of actually having fast forward mechanics in the game. So I'm focusing on Vivian right now. Okay, I would really like to fight him anywhere else right now. He's kind of stuck in a corner where he's like, oh, he just loves his knockback, doesn't he? Keeping me I'm keeping myself and Vasti bubbled for now. I still have potions disabled, and that's because I don't know how tough this fight's gonna be. And so much like the Alexius fight, I'm taking completely manual control of potions aside from Vasti, the one person I'm safeguarding the life of. And that's partly because he has those grenades that revive people too, so that also helps that. Oh, so we're gonna keep fighting him in phases, then going through a castle. This is like it's like the ending of the last Harry Potter movie. Ooh, supply cache. Really? I haven't used a single potion yet. Specifically because I was like, oh, well, there's probably more of them. I never considered the idea that midway through a fight we'd have more potions. I guess I'll grab it. Please pick it up? There we go. I couldn't get him to pick it up because he was jumping for some reason. Alright, so I've used one potion so far, and that was only because they gave me a cache, and I was like, fuck it, I'll heal Solas for a bit. Why not? Otherwise, I would have gladly let him die a few times, because I have three revived grenades. So if Solas goes down, that's fine. If Vivian goes down before Solas can get brought back up, then Vasti can bring Vivian up, who can revive Solas in return.
If you desire death, you shall have it.
There's Solas down to no hit points again. His emergency bubble seems to be more effective than his actual bubbles, which is kind of weird. Oh, that's a shade. I need to focus on him. Look at me. Look at me. That tiny piece of debris was getting between me and the shade, so I couldn't affect them properly. Here we go. Start wailing on this. Oh, there's another one behind me. I'll get to him in a second. They're in rage shades, level 30. I mean, level 23. Don't know why I said 30. Vivian. I don't know why I opened my potions. Here. Vivian, you're going to revive Solas real quick. I'm continuing to conserve my potions as best as I can. I learned from the Alexius fight that during a boss fight, the worst thing that can happen to me, as far as my chance of success, is to use up all my potions, because then at some point you might actually need them, but some party member that you could have kept alive in other ways. Oftentimes you can keep people alive in other ways without having them sap all your potions automatically. Oh, well that looks like a dragon. I can't look at my inventory anyway, though. Alright, so this is the Red Lyrium Dragon, and he's been injured significantly by my dragon. And it looks like, yeah, he's about half dead. I think we have this, we'll be fine. I haven't had troubles with dragons so far, aside from like, literally the first dragon, the Hinterlands dragon, sorry, was actually the hardest dragon fight for me. And that's because I was new at it, and frankly, a lot of damage coming in. But now my party's pretty optimized, so I don't think we're going to be in trouble. Solas will go down over and over again, but that's fine. That's his prerogative. It's his lifestyle, don't worry about it. I would have preferred to get some guard on the hit for him, but it's at some point it's just too many parts to completely recraft equipment for him. I would have preferred to do it if I could get a better weapon for him, but I couldn't, and I didn't want to replace his keeper robes because they're kind of awesome. I like the fact that I've gotten most of my party at this point dressed in unique chest pieces that are based on what kind of character and background they have. So having a straight up Dalish elf chest piece for Solas kind of just completed that for me. Keeping my guard generation up. Yeah, Vasti is undefeatable. like, part of me is tempted to try, like, I'm somewhat tempted by the idea of, like, doing a solo playthrough of, like, I wonder if I can play through all of Dragon Age Inquisition with just, like, a guard generating, like, just a sword and board warrior, like, if that's possible. I think the biggest stumbling block would be the first half of the game. Everything after Haven is easy, but before Haven it was so hard I don't think I could do it. Or at least maybe not on Nightmare. Red Lyrium Dragon. So this is Dragon Fight number 11, I believe? No, 12. This is the 12th dragon in the game. Had to be a response to the people complaining, like, Dragon Age 1 and 2, like, it's called Dragon Age, why aren't there dragons? So, like, fuck you guys, here's 12 dragon boss fights, there you go. I hope you're happy. Can I reach Solas from here? I think he's over there somewhere. There we go. I'm so glad you don't have to aim revives that much, because the camera angle they give you for aiming spells is not very helpful. And I don't want to back out and then switch to a manual target every time from a tactical view. Yeah, people complain about there not being enough dragons. Well, here's 10 main dragons that are all part of the side quest, and then one optional dragon that comes up. I think it's optional for when your main character drinks from the well, and then here's the Red Lyrium Dragon, which might be optional? I don't know.
Let the skies boil! Let the world be rent asunder!
I honestly wanted to see the dragon's head get cut off. I think that'd be a pretty badass conclusion for that scenario. Specifically with Vasti. Ah, Corypheus healed. Undoing all the progress you've made up to this point.
Grant me power to finish this last fight!
Granted, it's all arbitrary because it's just the amount of hit points in general. Alright. We have another supply cache, so I'm just going to go ahead and heal up our 2 slightly injured characters and grab these new ones. I assume this is all linear zone where we'll never see him again. Oh, Corypheus is down now. I think he was full health a second ago, but now he's back to where he left off, I think. Maybe that was just a glitch when he had full health.
He's getting bigger!
So it is! Kill him before he destroys the veil!
Him going down to him being at half health or full health and stuff's probably totally arbitrary anyway, because they probably just spawn him, like, the fight just ends when he gets to half health, and then they probably spawn a new one from scratch, and that's probably why he showed up with full temporarily. Or I missaw that, but I think I saw that correctly. This guy's being a dick. I say about the horrible villain that's destroying the world. This guy's being a dick. I'm so over his teleporting right now. Come back here. Wait, is that a rift? Can I play with that? Oh, I can't play with it. Okay. That's the elven orb. We've discussed it before. Or the characters have. I haven't necessarily discussed it. Pay attention to me, damn it. I'm trying to get frustrating trying to follow this guy around. Okay, fuck it. I'm playing as Sarah now. Vivian and Vasti can chase them all he wants. I'm gonna play as the character that can just shoot from everywhere, because it's more fun than fucking just chasing him in circles. So I wonder how you guys feel about this final boss fight so far. It's definitely epic from a visual standpoint. You get the cutscenes, cool dragon orb. I mean the dragon, the cool elf orb. Like visually it looks climactic, but the build up to this, I don't know. You don't really have encounters with Corypheus, is I think where the problem is. You do all of Haven without knowing necessarily much about him existing in the first place. Well, let's throw some bees for old time's sake. Uh-oh, here he comes. Quick, establish some self-healing. I'll do it for Solas too. There we go. And I'll throw a bubble at our melee characters. Oh wait, are they even over there? Yeah, they are. Let's do it for other characters too. Fuck it. Everyone gets a rejuvenation potion. I made these for a reason. I'm gonna use them. I think BioWare's really good at party members and characters and development and hidden backstories and expanding on background and stuff like that. I don't know how good they are with villains. It's often like, alright, here's the dude. Like, Corypheus doesn't show up at all during Haven. Shows up in the final conclusion during a cutscene. Then he shows up again at the Temple of Mythal in a cutscene. now we're fighting him as the final boss. It's like we don't get to spend time around him as much. I think they nailed it best with a Saren, but I won't get too into detail for those because I don't necessarily want to spoil stuff there. Looks like he's crouching at the altar. Is he just doing a final charge up, or is he going to keep fighting us?
I need only moments more.
I'll say there's not much going on here. This is no Envy or Alexius fight, that's for sure. I want to see a definitive version of this game that is it's the same game but more balanced for pacing. Because this game had such a tight difficulty curve all the way through like the first 30 episodes or so. And it kind of lost it. Here we go.
Not like this. I have walked the halls of the Golden City, crossed the ages. Do not, ancient ones, I beseech you. If you exist, if you ever truly existed, aid me now.
Into the fade.
Solas?
The orb.
Are you sure? We could take the pieces. Try to...
That would not recover what has been lost.
There's more, isn't there?
It was not supposed to happen this way. No matter what comes. I want you to know you shall always have my respect.
Inquisitor! Are you alive? Then it's over. How lovely.
And the sky is healed, healthy, whole. There's just that left to remember.
Looks that way.
What do we do now?
We go back to Skyhold.
A moment, my lord. My agents have found no trace of Solas. He has simply vanished. If he does not wish to be found, there's likely nothing we can do. But I will keep looking.
Why would he just leave? Something must be wrong.
You said he was upset about the orb.
That can't be the only reason.
Now that Corypheus has been defeated, we have a moment to stop and celebrate. Afterwards, you will be busy. Every noble in southern Thedas is clamoring to meet you.
Oh, now they're lining up to meet me.
Such is the way of things. Previously, you were an upstart, a fearsome Qunari in charge of rebels and heretics. Until Corypheus revealed himself, they could not see the single hand behind the chaos. Once he did, they knew. A Magister and a Darkspawn in one creature, the ultimate evil. Now you are the only power left standing. Enjoy the evening while you can, Inquisitor.
Well, this has been abrupt. So the big final mission so far has been, we kind of warp to a place, the boss fight immediately starts, there's a few cutscenes to spice things up, and then it ends. And here we are, celebrating. But there is one major thing, well, there's a few loose hanging threads. Obviously Solas is missing, but what about choosing the new Divine? I'm hoping I haven't missed something vital, like a side quest about it, but I assume that's going to be what happens next, perhaps, is I think I need to still choose between Cassandra and Liliana. If not, and if I have missed something somehow, I'll just have to rewind and show you that guys later, but I'm sure it's going to come up here. Let's meet the folks and talk to everyone in the aftermath. I did enjoy, by the way, seeing the lineup of all the party members there at the end, and they're all wearing the various equipment that I found for them.
All this pomp and ceremony? Can't top seeing that bastard Corypheus burn. No matter what happens to me now, I can say I was there. I helped you bring him down.
And live to tell the tale.
So now that you've saved the world, what's next? Hoping to put it all back together?
It'll be a huge undertaking.
If anyone can do it, you can. If you ever need my help, you know where to find me. I'll be ready.
Know where to find you? I hope you don't go anywhere. Should probably just keep this whole crew around. Unless there's people who only cared about the Corypheus problem and not the Inquisition's goals at all, because we're far from done, I'm sure.
Am I imagining it? Or do we have a moment to breathe?
Corypheus is definitely gone. I was there.
You should hear the stories they're telling in the barracks. The pride in their voices. Some of the soldiers have requested leave to return home, but many would follow us still. You are proof that the Inquisition has made a difference, and that we will continue to do so.
That's why we're having this fancy party. Celebrate, Commander. You've earned it.
I should be thanking you. You gave me a chance to prove myself. In your place, I'm not sure I would have done the same. I should let you mingle. I'm sure everyone desires your attention. Enjoy the party, Inquisitor.
We're talking about defeating Corypheus, but I'm a little concerned. We didn't see him physically die. We summoned the portal, and he went through it. Like, this game could be way less close to being over than it feels right now. Can I open this door? I can. I just can't get past it. It's admittedly a little silly that you can open that like that. Hopefully we'll hear back from Solas at some point about what's happened with him. It's possible. Maybe we'll never hear from him again, or maybe that'll come up very soon, or maybe, much like what happened with Morgan in the first game, there could be an entire DLC that's just about dealing with what happened to him. It's conceivable, at least.
So, demons, dragons, giant asshole Vint on a big magic rock. You don't let it get dull, boss. Good stuff.
How is that good in any way, Bull?
We all walked away. Chantry folk are picking up what's left of Corypheus with a dustpan and a pastry scraper. It's weird. I joined the Inquisition under orders from the Ben Hasrath and stayed because Corypheus was an asshole. Now that it's done, I've got no orders. For the first time in my life, I can go wherever I want.
You know I'll find you the best fights.
I know. Anyway, the only place I'm going tonight is back for more drinks. To us, being alive, and the bad guys not. Anan.
Interesting. We're talking about Corypheus like he was disintegrated, but visually what it looked like is it looked like I just opened a portal to the Fade and just sucked him back in. And I mean, all he does is manipulate the Fade, so if that's what happened, he could get back out, right? But maybe I'm misinterpreting what I was supposed to see there, because for me, it doesn't feel like he's even dead yet.
I've been starting to think about putting all this into a book. What do you think of This Shit Is Weird, the Inquisitor Adar story? It's a working title.
I'm glad you've gone back to writing.
Well, nothing's certain until it's in print. I still haven't decided if I should do this book. As if anyone will believe this story if I tell it. Not to mention, I'll have my hands full with reconstruction and relief efforts in the Free Marches as soon as I get back.
The Inquisition could still use you here.
That's generous of you, but it's past time that I went back and took care of things in Kirkwall. I'm not leaving for a while yet, though. We'll have to get in at least one game of Wicked Grace before I go. Curly needs to win back some of his dignity.
Oh god, if we get a sequel to that. I wonder if that dialogue was exclusive to that, because I feel like that whole scene could have been optional, but maybe it would show up at some point. This is noteworthy, is that during the cutscene we had earlier in the game, I mean, by earlier I mean a moment ago, when I was all triumphant and everything, there was a bunch of pretty distinguished looking NPCs there. I'm pretty sure those are all agents that I've unlocked over the course of the game, so like that crowd could vary from playthrough to playthrough. By the way, did I level up? Son of a bitch, I'm level 24. This is insane. I'm surprised you can keep getting experience at this point. What do I even put points into? Like, what do I have? What is there any skill left that I currently use that I don't have about the upgrade to? I think that's not true. So I'll just get this passive that gives me additional stamina sometimes. It's about all there is left to do, be short of buying brand new skills, which, granted, it's possible I could want to replace something. First thing that comes to my mind is that out of all these skills, I could take that one where I create a barrier of people and replace that with a combat skill. It's conceivable. I don't really use it that much, and it doesn't seem very useful in a lot of these larger areas, but I stuck with it just because it was a champion skill, and I like having characters invest very heavily into their character-specific trees, just because those are often so... That's what makes each character more unique.
They're all happy. There's still fear. But you helped them all. You healed what was hurt. They don't want to forget what happened, even if it gives them nightmares. It would hurt less, but it matters to them.
The fear reminds people of what they fought for. It gives the victory significance.
It's part of being people. I know. I don't understand, but they need it. I think I could return to the Fade if I tried. I'm light enough to slip through, but I'd like to stay and help for a while, if that's all right. I can still help people here.
The Inquisition is just getting started.
Yes, because of you. Thank you for letting me stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cole seems pretty happy being more of a spirit. Granted, there's no way of knowing if that dialogue varies at all from one form to another. I'm noticing that he doesn't... He's supposed to become more of a spirit, but he doesn't really seem more spirit than he was at the beginning of the game, necessarily.
Finally got a party, yeah? A bit of fun for saving the world. It's the least Andraste's Herald deserves for making things normal again. Except for you know, everything ever again. I mean, is this for us or for her? Or, you know, him? Because I was there and I still don't know what's real.
Let the philosophers worry about that. Tonight is for celebrating.
Still some things to do yet, right? Because I'm in no hurry to go back to... Valrio. That's where I was. You mind if people still stay around? Or whatever?
This is home, if you'll have it.
Shut it, you. I cry, I'm punching everyone. All right, enough of that. Is this a party or what? Raise them for winning! Big freaking heroes, Inquisitor. All of us.
I just love having Sarah around. I hope that if this game has an expansion, which I just feel is likely, if it's going to be like Awakening, where it's potentially a different character or different party composition, I hope that she's one of the characters that sticks around. I get the feeling that depending on how this plays out, it might be about Solas, depending on how they decide to continue. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a few... I'm seeing a few characters around here that stand out as being from various parts of the open world that I've recruited along the way. I think, yeah, definitely. Most of the people at this table are actually recognizable characters from some point.
I was passing through the hall this morning and a serving girl saw me and squealed. Actually squealed, dropped her laundry and everything, such a mess. She was completely breathless.
You were at the battle with the evil one, weren't you?
I didn't even get a chance to answer. She hugged me. Hugged me. This is your influence.
That's what happens when you're a hero.
Is that so? Must be why it's so unfamiliar. Mind you, I can't say I hate the notion of being the good Tevinter. I suppose you can't all be evil bastards. The blacksmith said that, and he spat when we first met. I hope my father hears. He will shit his small clothes from shock, I swear.
You're an example of how noble Tevinter could be.
For Southerners, maybe. Back home, they'll be rolling their eyes behind their fans. Meanwhile, they'll conveniently forget the bastards who wanted Corypheus ruling us all. I've decided to stay with the Inquisition. For now.
You will?
Tevinter lacks the presence of my best and only friend. It'll keep.
Well, it's good to have Dorian around. He definitely fits the cause. I think if there's anyone I wouldn't mind seeing leave, it'd probably be Vivian.
Ugh, I should never have hired new caterers so late.
Leave it be, Josie. Everything's fine.
It is not! I'm so sorry, nothing's quite as it should be. Do you like the drinks? I'm not sure about them.
The drinks are fine. It's been a wonderful evening.
I hope you're not just saying that. You're not, are you? What a disaster. So many was late, the invitations to our guests barely went out at all, and it was so wonderful to prepare for a small banquet instead of the end of the world. Do you know what everyone is talking about tonight, from commoners to kings? Us. Dedas is discussing the successor of the Inquisition.
You played no small part in our rise to power.
You had a role yourself, if I recall correctly. Truly, we will never forget those we lost. But for tonight, to victory.
See, she's acting panicked about it and freaking out, but deep down, she's totally on board about this. This is like what she lives for, even if it's slightly masochistic. More so than fighting for the end of the world.
I can't believe it's over. It seemed an impossible task. Defy the Chantry, build the Inquisition from nothing, defeat a creature that would be a god. And yet here we are, celebrating.
So we should be. Defeating Corypheus was no simple task.
He was so confident of his power, he could not conceive of losing.
If he could, he would never have challenged me.
And he would have gone into hiding. Yes, it worked out far better this way. I intend to rebuild the Seekers of Truth, to make us the order we were meant to be. That will take time. Meanwhile, I am free to remain with the Inquisition. I think back to how we first met, and here you stand, You are the Inquisitor, a symbol of hope and change to so many. And you are my friend. How did that happen, I wonder? I'm pleased it did. You are a great man, and I will always stand at your side.
That's actually an interesting point. We arguably won because of Corypheus' self-assuredness, because he was so sure of victory that he exposed himself and challenged us, and he kind of facilitated his own defeat when he could have been this lingering threat in the background that was in hiding all the time. But really, the only thing holding us back from fighting was constantly us preparing and then choosing to engage with him rather than the other way around, because he was always on the warpath. Because he was just sure that he would be successful, and that was what made him easy to find, when he could have been this long-standing hidden threat that could have been around for decades.
Enjoying the refreshments? Josephine sent all the way to the capital for the petit four.
Oh, I love tiny cakes. There's so many. Which should I try first?
I would avoid the dark ones topped with gold dust. Deep mushroom and anise. An awful combination. But it's quite popular in Val Royeaux. I believe they call it the exquisite misery. Ole. Why did we save her again? To you, Inquisitor, for all you've done.
Nothing says you've defeated the great threat that's challenging the entire world's existence like the ability to choose the dialogue option. Ooh, cakes.
So much to do, my dear. I'll be returning to Val Royeaux to organize the Loyalist mages. The Empress requires my expertise during what is sure to be a difficult transition. But that will wait. Are you enjoying the celebration? Josephine was in a frenzy arranging it.
I'm too preoccupied contemplating what comes next.
It's always wise to plan ahead, my dear, but you mustn't worry yourself into an early grave. Go mingle. The night is still young.
Everyone's just celebrating and being happy about her success. Somehow Vivian still manages to do that in a way that makes me unhappy with her. Who's missing exactly? I feel like we're missing people. I talked to Cullen, I talked to Leliana, I talked to all three of my advisors. Rogues, all three of them are right here. Sarah, Cole, Varric. Over here we have, was there Blackwall? I talked to Blackwall, Cassandra, Iron Bull, Dorian, Vivian. Oh wow, yeah. Obviously there's a lack of Solas here, but that is the entire cast. For some reason it felt like there wasn't nearly enough. I don't know how that happened. So now it's time to retire to my quarters.
May I join you? I wanted to catch you. The celebrations appear to be winding down with the sunrise. I've never witnessed such a lovely sight.
I am standing right here, you know.
Shall I compare you to the sun?
Go on. Write a few couplets.
I could not do you justice. It's been good to have this celebration, free of what the future holds. Whatever awaits us, my lord, I know only one thing. I would never have you face it alone.
I'm always so humble around so many different characters in this game. I kind of like the idea of taking the moment to brag with Josephine, sorry.
'Tis said that Corypheus woke after his long slumber and found the world gone awry. He fought to bring back those days of magic and shadow, to raise himself as a god and set things right. Now, we are left with a scar in the sky to remind us of what almost was. It tells us that a great victory against chaos was won, but left the world forever changed. Consider the mighty empire of Orlais, where Empress Celine remains on her golden throne. The civil war is ended, Gaspard is defeated. but it is said Briala yet plots her return from exile. The Empress now faces a war in the shadows. Elven daggers rule the night, and spies follow her every move. Fortunately for Celine, her gratitude towards the Inquisition has remained strong. Some claim she clings too tightly to the Alliance. Others know it is all that stands between her and defeat. The Grey Wardens of the South slowly rebuild in the months following the events at Adamant. They declare it time for the Order to emerge from the shadows, to join the rest of humanity in fighting their ancient foes. Rumors abound that they severed ties with their leaders at Weishaupt, and that a bitter war now rages between them. What becomes of Hawke is unknown, save that all news out of Weishaupt soon ends. Does the sudden silence indicate a battle within, or something far worse? 1 month after the defeat of Corypheus, the Chantry names Leliana as successor to the Sunburst throne. Given the name Divine Victoria, she first declares an end to the Circle of Magi. The mages will now govern themselves. She opens the priesthood to other races, declares support for the Inquisition, and rededicates the Chantry to the principle of charity. Divine Victoria is controversial from the start. Several new sects arise, resisting her reforms and declaring her rule a threat to the faith. Her response is as swift as it is deadly. Unity is maintained, but blood runs through the halls of the Grand Cathedral. The Inquisition's mages, the former rebels led by Grand Enchanter Fiona, are left with a choice. When Leliana disbands the circles, they leave the Inquisition and reform the College of Enchanters as a new order. The college, they say, will allow mages of the South to gather in peace and seek new solutions to age-old problems. For the moment, it appears to be working. Mages are enjoying unprecedented acceptance throughout Thedas. And what of the Inquisition itself? It has eyes and ears in every hall. No secrets are beyond its reach, and that knowledge has become the source of its power. I leave Skyhold now, knowing that power will continue to grow. The Inquisitor is a symbol to many, a leader of the changing world order. To others, he has become a target. They linger in the shadows, waiting for their day to come. When it does, the Inquisition shall stand ready.
Interesting. So Leliana's just chosen as the Divine in a way that caught me by surprise. I thought it was going to be like a big decision that takes place in a whole. I thought there was going to be like a whole quest where like we discuss like back and forth. Now it's time to once and for all pick between Cassandra and Leliana. But it looks like, I don't know, maybe it just happens on its own, or maybe a very specific dialogue option I chose at some point was me making the final decision in what was probably a kind of unceremonious way. If that's the case, it's kind of disappointing, because I do want to see. I was hoping that there'd be a final decision late in the game, so I could then do in the non-canon episode the other option, because I was gonna have Cassandra be the new Divine and then check Leliana in the non-canon one, because I kind of preferred Cassandra. I was concerned that Leliana might have unrealistic approaches, but we'll see. I guess we'll see how this plays out ultimately, because it seems like the mages are doing alright, which is unusual. The ultimate outcome for the Grey Wardens seems to be both dark and mysterious, where not great things are happening, but we're also not sure what's happening, which further stokes the flame for that theory that any DLC or expansion that comes to this game might be dealing with the idea the Grey Wardens all hearing the song, and what may have happened to their order in the aftermath of this playthrough. I mean, of this story. But anyway, that's the end of Dragon Age. Rather surprisingly, the quest where you go after Corypheus really is a simple, like, you click on it on the map and then you go fight him, and that's the whole quest. I think if you take the last 2 missions combined, the one with Flemeth and the one with Corypheus, and you stack them on top of each other, I think the 2 of them combined are still shorter than every other main story mission in the entire game, which is a little weird for a conclusion. I can't help, I kind of expected something different, but that's probably because my favorite BioWare game is still Mass Effect 1. And the end of Mass Effect 1 is like, I want to say like 90 to 120 like solid minutes of continuous mission where you go to a planet, you're trying to stop this crazy thing from happening, you pursue someone through like time and space, crazy things are happening. They have levels that seem to defy how you think levels work, and there's all this crazy stuff happening, and final showdown, and then more final showdown, and all these crazy scenes happening, and a lot of texture pop because the Xbox 360 couldn't handle it at the time. But this one was kind of just a quick fight, and then it's over. We get one last little piece of dialogue with people, and it kind of, for such a long game, I just feel like it maybe wraps itself up a little abruptly. There's Loghain and Alistair in the credits. Unfortunately, they both played really minor roles in this game. Loghain, for example, played no role because he was dead. Whoops. And Alistair was in here for... Man. I think I saw him once. I think what happened is I sided with the mages, and then after I sided with the mages, I think Alistair showed up and said something once, and then we never saw him again. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I would have loved to have more time... It would be good to have more quests that dealt with encountering various party members, like from previous games. Like if you could maybe speak with Aveline at some point, for example, and other characters that were nice to have around in the previous games. But it's fine. I'll take what I have, and really, I love the game. I think BioWare always kind of has, with the exception, I think, of Mass Effect 1. I think ever since the last console generation, older Mass Effect and Dragon Age games have kind of disappointing endings. Like, there's the huge climactic ending to Dragon Age Origins and a huge climactic ending to Mass Effect, I think. But then Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 3 are all famous for kind of falling flat. I guess someone could disagree with me on that. I guess no. I guess Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, they all kind of have big climactic endings that have pretty cool final missions. Mass Effect 3 also obviously has its own story connotations of negativity that people have around that one, of why they don't like that one. And some people just didn't like all of Dragon Age 2, but I guess this one does kind of stand on its own of being like a weirdly abrupt and short and obvious ending of like, alright, there's the bad guy, we fought the bad guy, we beat him, and then, alright, everyone's happy now. The end was kind of a weird, like, it was almost like a too tame way to wrap up such a long game with no twists or none of it played out in any way other than exactly how you thought it would, I think. All the way down to not even, like, I was kind of hoping there'd be a whole quest where, like, now we're at the Chantry and we're deciding who the new Divine's gonna be, and we're gonna have a whole, like, Quarian-style debate about who needs to be what. Maybe we would see Cassandra and Liliana turn on each other a bit and actually become competitive about joining the new position. It was weird that there was so much... I feel like there was multiple points of build-up for the new Divine, and it was kind of just explained away in a title card instead of giving it its own quest, so maybe that was a little rushed. But overall, I think I can't complain too much. I think I really enjoyed the game. I had a great time, even if the ending wasn't my favorite thing ever. Great story, better characters, absolutely, and I had a great experience. I just wish that they could have a version that has slightly tighter difficulty curve, because they kind of lost it about halfway through the game, and the game kind of, even on the hardest difficulty, kind of just became just straightforward, I suppose. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, like always. In about a week, Bloodborne's going to come out, so some of you guys are certainly going to be excited about that, because you've watched me play Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2. For those of you guys that don't know, I started this channel, basically, I played it Outlast first, but then I moved on to Demon Souls, then Dark Souls 2 when that was brand new, then I did another playthrough of Demon Souls with a friend, and now I'm in the middle of a Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus playthrough, so Bloodborne's gonna be interesting, because that's the new game that's PS4 exclusive from those guys. Surprisingly, that's a surprisingly short credit sequence for a game with such a big voice cast. I wonder if they simplified it at all, or if that was actually the full credits. Usually, there's also a fair amount of music in this game that you think would be really extensive credits.
I knew you would come. You should not have given your orb to Corypheus, Red Wolf.
I was too weak to unlock it after my slumber. The failure was mine. I should pay the price. But the people, they need me. I am so sorry.
I am sorry as well, old friend.
Well, there's a reveal. So the wolf that trapped all of the elven gods outside of the mortal plane was Solas all along. That's why he's the mysterious past, that's why he's conveniently around, that's why he's so standoffish and doesn't even relate to his own people necessarily, but also has such specific ties to old elven history and the Temple of Mythal, and like that he's more attached to that than he is of modern elves even. They did something really interesting there with both him and Flemeth, making them both ancient elven gods and tying them together like that. Oh, and I'm unceremoniously dropped right back into Skyhold. Okay. So obvious question. Take a look around. Is there a new quest anywhere? There's the war room marker. Huh. Are all my party members still around? Except Solas, huh? Oh no. Solas had the mural and it's not complete, is it? No. There's the first sketches of a dragon and some sort of final confrontation, and it's left incomplete. And that's because he's gone, and it's always going to look like that. Oh man, that's tough. So I should obviously take a quick circuit around to talk to party members that are around town, just to see if anyone has anything to say about the events of the game, ending. But wow, okay. I was saying I wanted some sort of twist to happen at the end, and there we go. That Solas Solas was Fenrir all along. There's a reveal that's more interesting than the actual ending itself to some extent, and I really hope that we're gonna follow up on that in some level. So I suppose that means that Flemeth is just dead now, right? Like, that's it. I'll talk to Varric, and we'll see if these characters have dialogue of their own at this point.
I feel a little nervous having the woman who commanded our spies on the Sunburst throne. Like if anybody recites the chant wrong, she'll have them shivved. I'm probably overreacting. But yeah, if you want to go out and find some trouble, I'm up for it.
Probably overreacting? Maybe not overreacting. She did go into angry murder bot mode at one point. Although I will say that's one of the things, much like Cole's transformation, I think the binary state between Leliana's personalities when you decide what to do with her, I don't think that her going into murder mode necessarily made her that much different. But let's see. Dorian?
Frightening thought. A divine with enough spies to know how often you piss. It will be difficult to return to Tevinter after all this. I have a good friend here. You don't find those just lying about. Such is my lot. Just a little longer, then.
So everyone has something to say about Liliana, but do they have more after that?
What's to come, I wonder? My guess? A plague of bees.
So there's the lightest little follow-up, but not a whole lot going on at that point. Wow, okay, Vivian's still here. I kind of thought she would have been gone by now.
The Conclave made an interesting choice in Leliana. Inspired by something, no doubt. I would find the proceedings entertaining were it not going to create a mess I'll have to clean up.
Josephine probably has something to say about her best friend becoming the new divine.
Leliana knows the game. She'll move the Chantry forward while quelling the fears of the faithful. And I feel only pity for those who might try to depose our former spy master by force.
Should the Inquisition offer Leliana its protection?
It'd be more imposition than useful, or misinterpreted as a struggle for power. It's best Leliana arrange things herself. After so much warring, even the most seasoned players of the game yearn for change. Sister Leliana will bring about interesting times.
I mean, that's also obviously a good point. Like, she's much more politically inclined than Cassandra, so she has clear advantages from being elected the new divine at this point. I can't help but feel, yeah, I definitely still feel gypped that she was just unceremoniously ripped from Skyhold in the party, and over the course of a title card has now become the leader of an entire religion, when, like, that was, out of all the things that have been dedicated time in the story, that probably feels like it should have been one of them at this point. So it's weird having that skipped over.
The young like their victory sudden.
Ah, there you are. I heard about the new divine. I have to say, I wasn't surprised the spy master was chosen. She's quite a driven woman. I'm eager to see what she does. Now, what's next for us? I stand ready, as always, Inquisitor.
Lord Chancellor DeLion's actually the guy that made me a champion in the first place.
A quick study, Inquisitor. You were born for this.
Leliana is already turning the Chantry on its ear, and she hasn't yet been crowned divine. It's quite interesting to watch. I offered to remain as right hand, but she has other ideas. I wish her well, regardless. The Chantry needed someone like her.
Interesting. Cassandra's been flat out removed from the, I mean, not removed from the Chantry. That's not how that works. But I mean, like, she's not, she's no longer in the position that she was once in, and Leliana chose to go without her. I guess one upside of having Leliana chosen is that Leliana's not a party member, so at least I don't lose one of my playable characters, whereas I would have lost Cassandra, I suppose.
You have healed the sky and cast down a great darkness, Inquisitor. Whatever political squabbles follow your work, I hope you hold on to those facts. I know I will.
Leliana is to be divine. It will be strange to see her go. Given her plans for the Chantry, the months to come will be interesting.
Most of the charges are still at the Temple of Mythal. I'm Mr. Crazy Fine.
I hear your mages are looking to start a whole separate college of enchanters. Be interesting to see if they can avoid pissing everyone off this time. What's more important is there are still rifts out there spawning demons. I'm ready to kick some ass whenever you are.
I actually like the idea of the mages being their own organization if they can self police, that is, which is something that will be yet to be seen. The problem with the Chantry and the circles is that you were holding the mages under something, and you're imprisoning them as if something that was lesser or needed to be feared, and that contextualizes how all of society sees them. So when they have their own organization, suddenly they're equals, and there could still be fear there, and that's a problem you still have to deal with. But there's upsides for sure. Can I talk to Cole? He's just sort of standing here. Oh wow. Now that the job's done. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, now that the job's done, and Cole's more of a spirit, maybe he doesn't even feel the need to talk anymore. It'd be interesting because he doesn't have to appear on his own, so they could even make him completely invisible and have him only show up. They could have him only show up when I call on him for combat, and he could just be someone who never shows up at all in Skyhold at that point. It's an option. This is either a very, very interesting story decision to have him not talk anymore, which totally actually fits the character and how detached he is, or it's a glitch. In which case, I guess the joke's on me. Sarah, saved my favorite for last. Well, favorite after Solas, but I can't exactly talk to him now. Turns out he's a wolf.
Hey.
Hi.
Good talk, yeah? Nice and relaxed. I mean, we're in with Leliana, so we have no problems. It's the ones who piss her off who need to squirm. I'm staying, though. You find fun often enough. I'm not sure where else I'd be. Hello, yeah?
So yeah, we get to have casual conversation. It's kind of what she always wanted. It'd be interesting to see how Sarah proceeds from here. What? Oh, Chancer came all the way over here. He actually seems to move around. I'm going to take a look at the war table, because there might be some post-game war table missions, I can imagine, where things kind of just pop up as a response to the events that happened here. Let's take a look at my quests, too. Current quests. Oh, yeah. There is no Path of the Inquisitor. It's just location-based quests. Western Approach, Troubled Darkspawn, that quest is broken. Hissing Wastes, more quests about finding stuff, and another requisition I never did. Hinterlands, Mercenary Fortress, that's another glitched quest. And then, yeah, there's a few that are just like, go find this spot that I never got around to, and frankly aren't very compelling, because we've learned that those go find this spot quests, aside from the... I mean, the Hissing Waste could be the exception. Some of these tombs are actually... Some of the tombs are actually pretty cool, because they're there's stuff you need to find that all pieces together. But other than that, I'm gonna say like a lot of these location-based ones are often just like, all right, you found it, here's an item, that's it. No dialogue, no story, just you got an item and it's probably outdated. Congratulations, and that's another requisition. So yeah, the game, as far as quests go that I have so far, pretty clean sweep. We've wrapped about all that we'd want to. Josephine's gone. That's weird. And her chair's gone. Also, was the throne gone a second ago? The throne's gone. There's no throne. And half this place is empty. And there's no carpet. There's no tables. I think the game may have just glitched out on me. I think it, yeah. Alright, let's go pay a visit to the war table and see if there's anything new going on there, because the rest of the game just lost its mind. Huh. They gave me another Inquisition perk, and I'm kind of out of stuff to buy at this point. I think I'm gonna go for Eagle-Eyed. Wait, is that the one I'm looking? No, that's not the one I wanted. Forward Scouts. It adds additional landmarks and points of interest to every area. I don't know what that means. Like, it might mean that it just adds them to your map when you first go to zones, in which case it's completely useless, because I've already explored. Or it could mean that there's even more landmarks and points of interest when I'm exploring than there were before. Like, they're exclusive to this thing, and then now I can get more lore, potentially. Either way, I'm just gonna get something, because at this point, the game's over, and also, pretty like...
So, Leliana, should I bow whenever you come into the room now?
The ceremony is not for a while.
It will be strange to see you and think, there walks divine Victoria.
Then let us enjoy these moments while they last, as colleagues.
Nor as friends.
What's this? A breach in decorum?
Perish the thought.
So what happened here is, I got more Inquisition points than I ever expected to, so at this point I'm just kind of picking whatever. I mean, I could even blow money at there's a store in town where I can just buy influence, basically. And if I want to, I could probably just max out all of the possible things you can buy here, because I have a lot of money and not a whole lot to spend it on at this point. Well, that's interesting. I never predicted that Leliana would still be around. I thought she was gone. So I'm gonna have to go find her in the tower and talk to her. I never checked because I just assumed she was gone already. That seemed to be the implication there. I guess the title card we saw was from the future and not actually talking about what we've seen right now. And I don't see a single new thing on this war table, so there's no post-game war table missions as far as I can tell. Just the ability to repeat those things infinitely and keep exploring the map to complete quests we've never finished up to this point. So, I'm sad to say, this is it for Dragon Age Inquisition, because I just have nothing else I can do. So I guess I'm just going to have to wait for new content, and maybe I'll do a parallel playthrough. Probably not on YouTube. Maybe I'll stream. Go ahead and follow Sebastian SB on Twitch if you want to be aware when that happens. I'll probably announce it also on YouTube if I ever do it, but it might be fun to run around just as one character and see how well that works, just in my free time. But I'm really good at I'm way better at thinking of stuff to do in the future than I am at actually doing it, because I play RPGs so much, and all these games are so long that it's often unwieldy and impossible to do that. But to follow up what I was talking about during the credit sequence, before I did Dragon Age Inquisition and it kind of took over my channel because it's such a beast of a game, once upon a time, I was basically a Dark Souls channel for a while. I played Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. I have a second playthrough of Demon Souls with Wander, and then I have a Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus series where I play the game again on the same character and I respect him to make it feel more different. But the game actually changes enemy placement in New Game Plus, so I've been playing through it again and seeing how the game changes. And so because of that, first of all, now that I've done this, I'm definitely switching gears. I'm going to try to go back and finish my main story-oriented Dragon Age Origins playthrough, where all I have to do is play the dwarf mission, I believe, and the final mission, and then that'll be over. I kept meaning to come back to it, but it was hard to justify spending time with Origins when I could spend that time instead recording more Inquisition. But now that's over, I'll go back and finish Origins, and I'm going to go finish my Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus playthrough. But big news is that when Bloodborne comes out in about a week, I'll be playing that a lot, because it's probably the single biggest game I'm excited about this year. And a few weeks later, we get another version of Dark Souls 2 coming out called Scholar of the First Sin. And so those of you that are fan of those Dark Souls shows I do, that'll be a good experience, because it's not just a re-release of the game. I mean, it arguably is still just a re-release of the game, but the important thing for a Let's Play perspective is that it's going to have new enemy placement again, which means while you're playing through the same levels and fighting the same bosses, basically, the overall feel of the game is going to be a bit different, because the enemies will be in different locations, or they will be different enemies, and that's a big deal in those games for the level design. And the items are going to be different, so that changes the overall progress of the playthrough and how that plays out. I don't see Liliana around here. Interesting. Maybe she's outside on the balcony? So stick around if you want to see that kind of stuff on the channel. On top of that, let's see. I have a whiteboard detailing all the stuff going on. Dying Light and Darkest Dungeon, I'm working on finishing those. I would love to have at least one of those finished recording before Bloodborne comes out, just so I don't get overwhelmed. And I want to go back and finish Oblitus, Gravity Ghost, Drakengard 3. Drakengard 3 is the lowest priority out of all the games on my list, just because I finished the main story up to ending A, and there's 3 more endings and 6 DLC packs, so there's definitely more episodes to come. But at this point, I've let it sit for so long, and it at least has a sort of a finality to where I left it off, that I'm okay with leaving it where it is for now, and I'll just come back to it when I have a lull. And frankly, I haven't had a lull for a while, so it's hard. It's a little hard to get myself to get back to it when I have so many things that are more relevant and more modern and more people are watching. But one day I'll probably come back to it. It's sad that Solas isn't around here anymore. I never found Liliana, but we'll have to deal. We'll check this ladder one last time for old time's sake. It's a little weird. He clearly used this ladder and scaffolding to paint the area, but he never moved it around. It was always in the same spot. Had to be awkward to paint around that couch and stuff like that. It's funny that even now there's stuff on the ground that makes this place look incomplete. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching Dragon Age Inquisition. I think we're looking at... This is probably episode 128 or something like that. I don't think we ever quite broke 130 episodes, but this is by far the longest series I've done. Not only in episode count, but the episodes themselves are really long, so this was crazy. I never saw myself doing this kind of thing, and it happened. So, thanks for sticking around, and I hope you'll be around in the future. And if any DLC comes out for this game, which I'm so certain that it will, because that's just what they do with these games, all these EA, BioWare games, they've never not had some kind of DLC, and it seems silly. It would probably be silly not to follow up on this. I'll absolutely play that, and we'll see more of this character. Also, stay tuned. I'll probably do a non-canon episode for the events towards the end of the game. Admittedly, I'm kind of disappointed. See, the ending of a BioWare game tends to be where all the big decisions happen. That's true in like every BioWare game for the most part. You get to do some big decisions and see how they play out. in these last 2 missions, I kind of didn't make any decisions. Like, I walk in the portal, and we just see Flemeth and Morgan talk to each other. I walk in, then I go to Corypheus, and we fight. And then some stuff plays out, based on decisions I already made and actions I did in the past. So, the main thing I'll do is I'll focus on what changes as a result of Morgan drinking from the well. So it'll be a follow-up of the New Game Plus. I mean, it'll be a follow-up of the non-canon episode we did of the Temple of Mythal, where Morgan drank from the well. We're going to see how it plays out differently when she does that, and I think I'll edit out a lot of the stuff where it's the same. I'll do the sort of a Cliff Notes version rather than have you guys watch a full hour of video that's mostly the same events happening again. But it'll be interesting to see what changes if it does. I don't think I'll be following up on how. I don't think I'll be showing what happens if Cassandra becomes leader, because I think I have to backtrack really far into the playthrough and play from there all the way up to here, and the side effect would just be a few pieces of dialogue and a different ending slide, so I don't think the effort's worth it. But thanks for watching, guys, like always, and I'll see you next time.